I have a reaction to the shooting in Minnesota, and I watched the video, and I'm gonna show the clip. But the officer is going to be vindicated. It was lawful. He did his job to a T. Okay, and with the training, they train soft matter. Okay, if you don't know soft matter, that's a headshot, and the vehicle clearly was utilized as a weapon. But in this particular situation, this is where white privilege goes wrong, because for some strange reason, this white female, this liberal female who's protesting, federal agents from doing their job. And, these are the consequences. So now that white privilege that, these white liberals have, you really got to understand what's going on, because as a 55-year-old black man, they called my generation super predators and, said we needed to be brought to heel like dogs. And it was Hillary Clinton. So if you don't think so, I'm going to just go ahead and play the clip for you. And this is Hillary Clinton calling us super predators, saying we need to be brought.
Not just gangs of kids anymore. They are often the kinds of kids that are called super predators. No conscience, no empathy. We can talk about why they ended up that way, but first we have to bring them to heel. And
so they brought us to heel.
Gangs of kids anymore. They are often the kinds of kids that are called super predators.
And this Hillary Clinton.
No conscience, no empathy. We can talk about why they ended up that way, but first we have to bring them to heel. And not just gangs of kids.
Now you know why I don't rock with the Democrats no more. And I'm a nonpartisan independent. And we're basically, manning up and leading God's people out of the burning house of the Democratic Party. But this particular situation right here, this white privileged female, lost her white privilege, because they can't cry racism. This was not a racist situation. This was a white federal agent who unalived a white Caucasian female. But, usually we see these videos when, the white females and the Karens are screaming in a police officer's face and spitting on them and telling shame and all of that. But this is, the situation that every action gets a reaction. And this, officer will not be, reprimanded. He followed protocol, because, I look at it a little different, because it's snowy out and the ground has ice. And if she didn't spin the wheels, that officer would have been run over. Okay, because she spun those wheels, and that was the pause, and gave the officer enough pause to pull his firearm, and let off several rounds. So let's go ahead and just check it out. It's right here behind me. Check it out. I'm going to just let it play. Listen to the commands. Get out the car. Okay, I'm going to pause it right here. Now, you see the wheels. Okay, see the mouse right here. You see the wheels. The wheels are turning left. Okay, and then the officer is going to appear to the right side of the car, which is going to be his left side. Looks like he's in the clear, because if the car continues in the direction that the tires are, it's going to make a left turn. But this is what happened. She backed up. Okay, the wheels are to the left. Clearly, the officer is here in front of the car. He looks like right now he's not in any types of harm's way. He can actually, jump to the other side of the car if the car is going to turn in the direction that the wheels are. But watch at the last split second what happens to the wheels. Okay. The wheels spun. When you put your car in drive, you might be going back, in reverse, and then the wheels are spinning right now, and the officer's standing there. And what choice does the officer have?
No! Shame! Shame! Oh my God! What the What the
Yeah.
You just what the did
So,
you do?
and like I said, Black America, stand down. This is not our issue. These white females and these white liberals are out there protesting federal agents that's actually doing their job. Hillary Clinton told us, we was brought to heel, and my generation was. So, we quiet. So now we coming out the closet to basically, let you know that we was never a part of the Democratic Party as we see it, because behind closed doors, we've been having conversations. But this is what Hillary Clinton told us.
Just gangs of kids anymore. They are often the kinds of kids that are called super predators.
That's what she called my generation.
No empathy. We can talk about why they ended up that way, but that doesn't matter. But we gonna bring them to heel like some dogs. That's what she's saying. And then this particular situation, you guys want to be, go against the federal government. It's not a race thing. I'm sorry that you're not in the class of the Republicans or you're not MAGA or whatever the situation is. But every action gets a reaction. And this particular car is considered deemed a deadly weapon. The officer said, get out the car. And I'm sure the other officer basically said, hey, if you drive forward, I'm going to shoot you. And that's what happened. But I see exactly what happened because the wheels, if anybody who's driven in the snow before, even on the regular streets, even if it's a wet surface, you bag up, you put the car in drive, and the wheels, you immediately go forward. But in this particular situation, the car spun, the wheels spun, and the car paused. And in that pause, the officer was able to react, extract his firearm, pull his firearm, and let off several rounds. Because watch this. Look at the wheels spinning. Those wheels were spinning. Those wheels were spinning. So she tried to hit that officer. She attempted to run the police officer over. Clearly, she attempted to run over a police officer and lost her life. I don't know why this white woman would do that, but she was wrong. Watch this. Get out the car. Wheels spinning. Yeah. So what I'm saying is, like I said, Black America, this is nothing but a distraction. Okay, this is our moment to move on. Okay, we got a lot on the line, a lot on the table. So do not get caught up in white folk business. Okay, because all that's going on in Minneapolis and Minnesota and all that, George Floyd, that was fine and all. Okay, but when I went out to protest in downtown LA and I saw 90% white people, and I'm sitting back like, wow, this ain't even about us. Okay, they're using this as an opportunity to, get NPO money, nonprofit money to, to get grants. I don't know what's going on, but there's a reason why they're out here. And if you did not know, these protesters be getting paid. Okay, but I'm gonna here it is again, and watch the wheel spin. Okay, boom, let's bagging up. Watch the wheel spin. Keep your eye on the mouse. Wheel spinning. Bam. Officer did his job to a T. So now, just like Hillary Clinton said this about, the black community that I grew up in, and called us super predators. Check it out. Not just gangs of kids anymore. They are often the kinds of kids that are called super predators. No conscience, no empathy. We can talk about why they ended up that way, but first we have to bring them to heel.
Okay. We've been brought to heel. Now it's our moment in history. And right now, you white Karens and white liberals, it's time for y'all to be brought to heel. Get off the streets. Leave them federal officers alone. Nothing's going to happen. And she just flicked them off. If I'm not mistaken. Where you going? Get out the car. Back in reverse, in drive. Spinning the wheels. Hey. Every action gets a reaction. So black man, stand down, and it's time for you white liberals and you Karens to be brought to heel. It is what it is. So that's my reaction.